Hello, everyone. Welcome to our presentation, and thank you very much for your interest in joining us today. I am Meg Milligan, an associate professor, Department of Psychology at Troy University in Alabama. I am also a licensed psychologist, and I have over 25 years of college-level teaching experience, which includes teaching in the US as well as Malaysia, and organizing and co-leading many study abroad programs.
And I'm Paige Paquette. I'm an associate professor in the teacher education program at Troy University also. I have over 25 years of teaching experience as well. And I believe that traveling provides multiple educational experiences that people don't even realize they're having. As our title states, we are describing an online course with a study abroad built in and modifications due to COVID-19. We all had to make them, and its application to our master's degree program and future directions that we want to take.
This is a list of our objectives for our short presentation today. We will define the terminology, describe the problem we address, of course, provide empirical support since we are scientists. Our course is Global Identity, Connecting Your International Experience to Your Life, which we abbreviate as Global Identity. We'll explain the role of study abroad in this course, present solutions to challenges prompted by COVID-19, and certainly we're open to discussion beyond our presentation throughout the course, conference and beyond. Although there's no true consensual agreement on the exact meaning of these terms, but following responsible practice in science, we're going to define our terms as we see them and provide references to them. Globalization means the process whereby cultures influence one another and become more alike through trade, immigration, and ideas. And globalization in this sense is accelerating. There's a lot of evidence to support that. Global identity basically is identifying with people around the world. And this is the focus, our primary goal in the course of study abroad that we describe. Intercultural competence is the ability to think and act in interculturally appropriate ways. Open educational resources, OER, briefly, which many of you are probably familiar with and probably use, are just resources that are available online and are free to use, freely distributed. Study abroad, this is also open to interpretation, but we use this term in its traditional sense, meaning experiential learning outside of the US. And ELE and ECE are terms that my colleague Paige will describe later. This is a visual of what we now call the pre-pandemic model of global identity, of our global identity course. This is how we designed it initially and ran it. Little did we know that a pandemic would strike and change many of the variables. But this is the basic structure of the course. I co-developed and taught this course since 2018, and Paige subsequently incorporated it into a master's degree program curriculum for current teachers. This course won the 2019 College Level Course Award from the National Association for Distance Education and Independent Learning, for which we're very proud. It is a 9-week online course with an embedded study abroad component. It includes undergraduate and graduate students and is based on the idea that global identity and intercultural competence can be operationalized into measurable learning objectives, which form the structure of this course. This is a highly interactive and experiential learning-based course, both within it and beyond as it expands to include non-US destinations and includes more variety in cultural encounters. And you can see by this schematic the basic components in our model and how the interactions work. We have 7 student learning objectives, SLOs, and each week has module level learning objectives, often called MLOs or unit level objectives. These are linked to the SLOs and to the assessments. And we include a course map to show these linkages. I think that's pretty standard practice that many of you, I'm sure, are familiar with and use. We have reflection papers, 3 of them. One is pre-departure, very important basis. One is upon return from the destination country, and one at the end of course. The first one helps students think about their upcoming study abroad experience, and it alerts faculty to students' expectations and concerns, which is very helpful for preparation and for a successful trip abroad, to alert us to what these individual students are particularly concerned about, what are their strengths and weaknesses, and forms the basis for a lot of important conversation before we actually leave US soil. An example of a discussion question, you can see each class, each week we have discussions. The first week discussion asks, when is it appropriate to adopt the cultural behaviors and attitudes of the country you are visiting? In what specific situations or contexts do you think it's better to exhibit your native cultural behaviors or norms? Provide clear examples. At the end, toward the end of the class, students present their end of course audio-video assignment. And that's a final opportunity to share their growth and experiences and describe applications to their future from what they have gained from participating in this course. Okay, this is this is a brief AV video that a student who joined us in Uganda and Costa Rica created for us after her 2019 Costa Rica study abroad. And it's a fun piece and shows kind of the end of the study abroad. Enjoy. You could also see in there that there was an in-country presentation at a university in Costa Rica, which we planned before leaving for the study abroad, and we presented to students at the university, which gave us another opportunity to have an international presentation and to help them build their resume and skills for the future. So there are a lot of incredible benefits, we think, to this course and to the study abroad.
Nick said, I work with graduate students who are pursuing a higher degree. Most of them are teachers. And one of the things that I found as I was working with these teachers is I did incorporate the global identity class into their program, but because our program is quick and it moves very quickly, and they're teachers, so they don't have the flexibility maybe during spring break like others do, I found that it was not always easy for them to participate in this program. And so prior to COVID, we were already discussing how might we make it available to our teachers so that they could have an international opportunity without maybe having to actually travel. And then COVID happened. And so that changed everything. And so we knew that it was time that we put a virtual plan into place. And we want all of our students to get to have that international opportunity and that international experience. And so you can see here the post-pandemic version. And it's very similar to the pre-pandemic version, but we do change a little bit during the content. And so we developed some different components for weeks 2 through 7 that will show you items such as having virtual tours to replace the in-person visits. They still get to see the same things, they're just not walking there as they're doing it. Faculty from partner universities and from our universities could divide the topics and record lectures for our students that are posted in the course. So they get to hear from faculty on both sides. We can have 1 hour faculty-led and student-led synchronous conversations with the entire group from both universities, thanks to Zoom and other forms of technology. Students from both universities can be placed in small groups to work on a project that they'll present together at the end of the term. And then, of course, we can have a virtual celebration that culminates our term and our time together with students from other institutions. A few other objectives that are not listed here will include increasing knowledge, increasing empathy, digital communication skills, virtual cooperation, and networking opportunities. The virtual global identity course can be valuable for our early childhood, that's the ECE, and our elementary teachers that are education students, because they're pursuing this master's degree in a program that we call Troy at Work. And currently, this program just provides a flexible opportunity for teachers to be able to pursue a higher degree and still have a life, basically. Currently, it's 36 hours in the program, and that is educational and content-specific courses. And Troy at Work program encourages the students to participate in cohorts that we call Trojan Learning Communities. And so as you see here, it's 6 9-week terms, and they move very quickly. And so that's why we were trying to think of how we can move this to a virtual model. As these students move through their program, they have what they call a champion, which is really a glorified name for an advisor, who assists the group in scheduling classes that enhance their learning in their classrooms. As I mentioned before, because of the breaks not always coinciding and the fast pace the program moves, it's not always possible for these students to participate. But the virtual opportunity allows some teachers who in our area have never left their hometowns to have the opportunity to have an international experience. A virtual study abroad experience would provide educators with the opportunity as well to meet the standards of accrediting organizations. There are many state and national standards our students may be able to meet through this class. You may review a few here. And as you review these, just a minute, I'll leave it for a second. As you review these, you'll see the standards discuss developing culturally responsive curriculum, communicating in ways that demonstrate a sensitivity to diversity, attaining access to information about various cultures, creating relationships with colleagues with different cultural perspectives, developing learning experiences that allow learners to engage with ideas and people on a global scale. And there are many more ways in which a course like this could ensure that these teachers and students meet their requirements. So now where are we going to go with this in the future? Now more than ever, I think we can all agree that we are looking forward to the future with excitement and great anticipation. While COVID caused a lot of cancellations in our lives, we have chosen to look at the positive from the pandemic. With many universities and students now poised and ready for virtual opportunities, we are anticipating several new pathways for the Global Identity course in both our traditional and virtual study abroad programs. In the future, we hope to offer the Global Identity course to other departments and colleges within our own university and include students from our university in the program. We want to increase the destination, the variety of the places that we can go. There's so many places out there that we would love to be able to have our students experience. We want to develop partnerships with other universities around the world. So we would love to hear from you if you would be interested in developing a partnership with us if you're somewhere else in the world. And we want to use this virtual experience as a bridge for our students to think globally and just want to travel. We believe that this course will connect our students to colleagues around the world and provide opportunities to move forward, promoting cultural diversity, understanding, learning, and change in ways that we've never dreamed of before the pandemic, before 2020. The Global Identity course can make a positive impact on our university students and their counterparts at the partnering universities, those who are learning today so that they can make a difference in their universities, in their communities, in their countries, and in their world.
The study abroad locations that we have visited so far were Costa Rica and Uganda in 2018. Costa Rica and the United Kingdom in 2019. We planned Costa Rica and Greece and Costa Rica and South Africa in 2020. And of course, those were canceled due to COVID-19, which triggered our virtual responses now. And I think in that sense, it was a positive thing because we need to move in more virtual directions. So that was great. And as Robert Burns noted, the best laid schemes o' mice and men gang aft a glee. And while we weren't men and weren't scheming, the gist of this quote fits. Here are some references that we mentioned in our presentation today. I hope they're helpful to you. And we thank you very much for being here. Our presentation is part of a paper that we wrote for the International Journal of Learning and Higher Education. It is currently in press, and I hope that many of you will read it if you're interested in getting more information about what we talked about today. And feel free to contact us.
Thank you, and have a great experience during the conference.
Yes.